Hello, I'm Dr. Red Bull, and sorry if my eyes look a little bit puffy. I've not been crying, I can confirm. It's just it's that time of the year and it's hay fever playing up and it's giving me itchy eyes. I'm not got any tablets yet. I was desperately looking for some in the house this morning, but there wasn't any. Anyway, as you can see, I've got a nice little T-shirt on, which if you know about your Formula One, it's about it's a direct quote from Sebastian Vettel, and as always, this video is about Sebastian Vettel himself. And I'm going to be talking about how this year is probably going to be his most important year in Formula One in order to gain respect and love of fellow F1 fans and probably people within F1 too. But I quickly want to touch on the T-shirt. It's a quote from what he said in China. I loved it. I saw it on fans of Sebastian Vettel, their page, which you should go and check out and not subscribe, like the page, because it's a great source for information about Sebastian Vettel, of course. And I use it quite frequently, and I'm quite heavily reliant on it. And thankfully, they promote my videos on there, which is awesome too. And yeah, this T-shirt was on there. It was 20 quid. It was probably only cost £2 to make. It was from Malaysia. When it come here, it was a size too big, and it actually did smell like it was from Malaysia. So yeah, I know I'm a bit con, but hey, it's just for the video, and it's pretty cool. And who cares after 4 washes whether the text will eradicate or not? Who really bothers about that? Ultimately, anyway, back on topic to the video. I wanted to get that out of the way. Yes, about this year, about Sebastian Vettel's year. I think this year is important, and I reckon he can show his driver's qualities and how much of a good driver he actually is, which I'm aware of how good he is. I followed him from Toro Rosso, so I'm fully conscious of how talented the guy is, but unfortunately not everybody appreciates it. And I think there's one or two theories of why that's the case. One of them being is it's because of his age. He won the championship at a relatively early young age. I think Hamilton, Alonso too had that problem, and people don't like that really. People like to see a graduation. So, for example, Jenson Button, he's a perfect example, and I think he's the most appreciated champion of this generation, this crop of drivers. Excuse me. And I think that was purely because one, he had a fight for it. He had a good fight for the championship with Red Bulls in '09. But that said, I think it's the simple fact that there was a sort of a steady sort of line that, you know, he started from the bottom and he was slowly working his way from the top, and it was years he had dogs of cars, and but then he got a win in Hungary with the Honda. So you know, people realised how talented he was. He did some exceptional drives under adverse conditions, where the car was poor or where the conditions were poor, and people knew he was a good driver. But he was unfortunately down here, and people like to watch somebody who gradually goes up and then finally reach the pinnacle in the age of 30, 31, 32. People love those sort of people who eventually nail it and get the championship, and that's why Jenson Button's like that. However, people like Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, the problem with them is that they are champions and worthy champions, but the thing is, they started off down here, Toro Rosso, Minardi, and then they went up here, championship winners, and now they're back down here. There was no bottom to top. It was bottom, short time, top, long time, and now middle. And that doesn't kind of work to gain respect, unfortunately. People just do not like that. Another sport is a good example. Wayne Rooney. You know, he was this young player who came on the scene in 16, 17. He was scoring goals for England. He was only 19. He was still a teenager. He was earning £150,000 a week, whatever he was on at the age of 18 or whatever, the youngest, highest paid teenager in the country. People really do not like a kid just doing everything. Although, and they seem to disregard the natural talent which they have, which Wayne Rooney has, Vettel has, Alonso has, and people are a little bit more sceptical, and they don't quite, well, not that they don't quite appreciate what they do. It's just that it shapes their opinion. It blurs it even, and thankfully, because I remember when Alonso first won his double championships, people didn't like him. From what I understand, people, you know, he wasn't really upset. Although he was appreciated because he broke the Schumacher trend finally, but he wasn't that well loved. I believe he was booed in some places, not on the scale of Vettel, but he was booed in some places. But ever since he dropped back down to Renault, I don't think he won much when he went back to Renault. after McLaren. He won the Singapore race, which was controversial. I'm not the biggest Alonso fan. I don't follow him that much, but I think he won that. And then he's been at Ferrari, and unfortunately their car's not been the greatest car. There have been periods where it's been a very good car, but it's never consistently been a good car. And you could honestly say some of the drives from Alonso under adversity has gained him a lot of credit, and has made him probably the most respected driver on the grid. And with that said, it brings me on to Sebastian Vettel, who's had a car which has been a serial winner. These last 4 or 5 years, he's had a car which has been able to give him serial wins, to go on these streaks. This year, he clearly has not got this car, for reasons which I've documented in previous videos. I'm going to go on to it, otherwise this video will be 30 minutes instead of what's looking to be another 20-minute video. Oh well. But with Vettel not having this winning beast of a car no more, we're seeing what he's like, and he's going to be more appreciated. So performances in the podium Malaysia, the qualifying, which he really ought to have got pole. He was second, wasn't he? He got second. It was literally under a tenth between Hamilton. So he really deserved the pole that time. Performances like that. Obviously, Spain, the most recent one. These 3 individual performances which are coming to light are now starting to shape people's opinion. It's started to change people's opinion about Vettel, and people being a little bit more appreciative. And this is why I think this year is really important for Vettel to do that. But, I want him to be appreciated for what he's done. For somebody who's watched him, I know how talented the guy is. I know it's not as black as white to say from 09 to 13 that he's had the best car all of the time. That's not been the case, and it really disappoints me when you hear people say that. I tend to call those kind of people the loonies. That's what I call them. But ultimately speaking, this year is so important. If he can, I reckon he will beat Ricciardo for sure. I reckon he'll out-qualify him when the year is done. I reckon he'll out-race him. And most importantly, I reckon he'll outscore him in the points this year. But this year, if he can just get podiums, I don't think he'll win a race. I'd love to see him win a race. Who knows? Maybe, it'd be a little bit reliant on reliability from the 2 Mercedes drivers. But I really would love if Vettel can just get this podium streak. Because if you look now, and I think it's going to be the case for the remainder of the year, I don't see much change due to the engine regs. That pretty much first and second are pretty much done for. It's either a flip of a coin who's going to win the race, Rosberg or Hamilton. It's either one of the two. So the only place really got left to fight for is third. And if Vettel can get that third consistently, so we've got Monaco coming up, that would be awesome. And maybe even split the Mercs in qualifying, that would be pretty good too. But hey, we can all dream. But I really do think if Sebastian Vettel can produce these performances like he did in Spain, like he did in the qualifying in Malaysia, like he did in for the podium for Malaysia. I reckon if he consistently do that, I reckon at the end of the year people might just think, oh, all right, this guy's pretty good, and people will be a little bit more appreciative. The media should hopefully jump onto it and go and write some excellent articles. I'll try to look out for them if they do, and share if they do. That'd be awesome if they did. And I think this year is really, really important for him. And he may not even win a race or a championship. It's kind of ironic, but that's people. They can be funny at times. And basically that concludes my video. Give it a like. Subscribe if this is if you're interested in Red Bull content and news and sort of analysis of what they get up to. And hopefully I'll see you in a future video. Take care.